Hello, and welcome back to MoJo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one and only Powerpuff Girls / JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Today we are going to be discussing more of the Powerpuff Girls Season 2. Today the episodes we're going to be discussing are Dream Scheme and You Snooze, You Lose.
Okay, so starting off with Dream Scheme, it's season 2, episode 9. These episodes originally aired September 24th, 1999. And I just saw a thing that there was a song by George Harrison called Dream Scene. I'm not sure if that's why it was called that. I mean, the things do rhyme, so it could have just been named Dream Scheme.
Right, yeah. The whole episode is rhyming, so it could just be a reference to that.
Yeah, the whole episode rhymes kind of like a Dr. Seuss book. So the episode starts off showing people in Japan going to bed, and the Sandman goes around the world putting a grain of sand in every person's eyes so they go to sleep. He sings a song about it to the tune of I'm a Little Teapot. So the Sandman himself cannot sleep because the world is constantly turning and someone is always going to sleep. It's time for the Powerpuff Girls to go to bed, but the girls want to stay up. But the professor is insistent. The Sandman, wishing to get some sleep himself, invents a machine that will distribute his sand and put people to sleep forever. So at first I was like, well, this could be cool for him, but then they keep using the word forever.
Yes.
So that part of it I'm not too cool with. Of course. I'm not sure how he got this gig and why he's stuck with it and like that he can never sleep.
Yes, what is his lore?
So his machine works and everyone all around the world, all at the same time, fall asleep, not just at night or at bedtime. And the Sandman makes plans to get a ton of sleep when his alarm goes off because the Powerpuff Girls are still awake. He visits the girls and tells them of his plan and that they are ruining it. He shoots them with his sleep gun and goes back to his lair. The girls join each other in their dreams and then go into the sleeping Sandman's dreams to scare him. He runs in slow motion from them and is chased by a giant chicken. They hit him with pillows. His bed grows long, spindly legs, and he's floating in the ocean. Bubbles jumps up and tries to bite him like a shark. He wakes up and says not to scare him. In his dreams, he will wake everyone up. So there was other stuff that happened in the dream. Wasn't gonna list every single thing, but there were kind of through windows and doorways and stuff, little video clips of some live action stuff. I guess it was kind of a little trippy. The people of the world are unaware of what has occurred except for the girls. The girls wake but then go to bed and refuse to get up at their normal time when the professor comes in because they really didn't sleep because they were messing with the Sandman. I have that the Sandman is voiced by Greg Eagles, who's also Grim from Billy and Mandy. And I do have some sympathy for the Sandman because he's not allowed to sleep. A person can't just go on forever. I'm not sure if he's some sort of has superpowers or some sort of minor god or something, and he's stuck in this job. Because, I mean, you kind of can't not sleep.
Right.
But he could just use, I don't know, maybe there could be, several of them that take turns, or he needs some sort of helper.
Indeed. I mean, I'd say the longest I've been awake is 38 hours because of insomnia. So he's probably been awake for 38 hours, and he's probably been awake for thousands of years, if not millions. So it probably does shit to your mind after a while. So he's just screw this, everyone is going to sleep now so that I can sleep.
I really think he just wanted, I don't know, there was something about he was going to get an extra 17 hours or something like that. I don't know if once he got enough sleep, if he would have woken everyone back up. But I mean, people did fall asleep at the dinner table and stuff like that. I don't really think it would have hurt them to just be asleep for a couple days while he slept. But the forever part was a little ominous.
Yes. I did feel bad, though, that his punishment basically was that he never gets to sleep again because he's so scared of the girls. Alright, so I'm gonna start talking about you snooze, you lose. It is nighttime again. Everyone is asleep except for MoJo JoJo, who's still awake scheming to destroy the girls. He wants to find a way to keep them from flying away, thinks of flypaper, says that's stupid, and throws that away. Which, not to do a spoiler, but there is a later episode in which he does actually try to use flypaper, so clearly he thought about that again later. He writes his plan down and puts it in an envelope, which he keeps with him even as he goes to bed. But he left a window open and a draft carries it out the window and it smacks the Amoeba Boys in the face. They read that it's MoJo JoJo's best plan to defeat the Powerpuff Girls ever, but don't understand what it means, and then they just stand there until it's light out again before they open it. They say it's just a bunch of numbers and letters and go to discard it when the girls swoop by. They chastise them for littering, but see the plans, think it's a scavenger hunt, and decide to help the Amoeba Boys find the items listed. Several of the items end up coming from Junior's mouth, gum, paper clips, a basketball, etc. But the girls have to fly through Townsville to find a bathtub, crustacean, and magnet. There ends up being a lady in the bathtub, and Buttercup massacres the poor giant crab and cuts off several of its legs, which just seemed unnecessary to me. They realize they still need to put the items together and build the device, but then they also realize that there's something missing still. Meanwhile, MoJo is losing his shit looking for his plan, lasering big holes throughout his house. The girls knock on MoJo's door looking for a giant laser, which drives him even more nuts, but he does give it to them. The girls think the device is a ride and stand on the X below it and have the Amoeba Boys start it. They end up inside the device on a conveyor belt, which drops a bathtub full of gum on top of them. The conveyor belt carries them back outside, and they say the ride is fun when they see the giant laser device is pointing at them. They panic as they realize it's a Powerpuff destroying device. MoJo shows up and declares the device his, but the girls don't believe him, thinking that the Amoeba Boys were secret geniuses all along. MoJo insists he came up with every aspect of it, including the chewing gum. The girls realize they can just chew their way out. Once they're free of the gum, they beat the snot out of MoJo, but still don't believe he built the device. He goes on about how much smarter he is than the Amoeba Boys and freaks out in general, and the girls say that if he really built it, he can go to jail, to which MoJo says some variation of "you're darn right," and cuts a day being declared saved by the narrator. I guess it's weird that the girls saw the blueprints and were like, oh boy, scavenger hunt. But again, they're like 5 or 6.
I mean, it is funny that they kind of helped put, not kind of, they put together the machine that was supposed to like trap them and or kill them. I guess kind of for the Amoeba Boys because they just find them not dangerous at all. Like usually they just do like very, very petty crimes like littering and it.
Yeah, so I guess that probably is why they're like, oh, this is harmless. This is something the Amoeba Boys came up with.
I'm not really sure why they thought the Amoeba Boys could like, it was like a blueprint.
Yes.
Why they thought that they drew it up though, since
Yeah.
normally they're like, da.
They are not very smart boys. Yeah. And I also didn't feel like the Amoeba Boys even felt that enthusiastic about the plans. The girls were just like, ooh, scavenger hunt. Hell yeah, let's go do this. Except for Bubbles was like, she didn't understand the scavenger hunt, and she said she didn't want to hunt for scavengers.
Yeah.
And the other two were gung-ho.
JoJo just like hands that laser over because he's distracted by looking for the plans.
He's just ultra sleep deprived and just like going ham looking for his plan. I did think it was funny though that it just ends with him agreeing to go to jail because he wants to take credit for the device so bad.
It still wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Because they were able to just easily, once they realized it was just gum, they were able to easily chew through it. And also, it's a lot of his plans involve, and I think that's why he added the chewing gum, that they have to stand still in one spot while he shoots a laser at them. So there was like an X, and because they stood still on that spot.
He needs something that's like motion activated or something.
Yeah, or like, like those missiles or whatever that are like heat seeking.
Yeah, heat seeking.
They need something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe something that seeks out, well, I guess it would seek out him, though, Chemical X.
Yeah, I'm like, but they're kindergartners. They never sit still. Even if they didn't have powers, they'd never sit still enough for you to zap them.
I mean, he can just hold a ray gun and shoot, like, because the Sandman was able to shoot them with a sleep gun. So he just needs, like, where he can move and aim and shoot. And
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of just dismiss him now, too. So he can probably still get pretty close to them.
Yeah.
They're always able to defeat him, beat the crap out of him, and put him in jail.
So I think their overconfidence could definitely like be to their disadvantage because it kind of was with the Sandman because they were like, "We're the Powerpuff Girls," and then he zaps them.
I mean, that's kind of how they got stuck in this trap, also.
Yeah.
And if it had been something other than chewing gum, they may have been in real trouble.
Yes. There's been like, say, like some sort of glue or something like that. Like, I mean, or something toxic that like would be sticky. I mean, they could maybe survive it since they have superpowers.
Yeah, I think it just needs to be like heat seeking or like you said, motion activated or like where a person is like continuously moving it, following them because they're not going to sit still. I'm not sure also how he was confident in finding like a giant crustacean.
Yeah.
And the poor giant crustacean.
Yeah, I'm also wondering how they like hollowed him out and got like a conveyor belt there. Like, if he was a robot crab, that might make sense, but I think it was just a big ass crab.
And then the girls just going by schematics, that's pretty good putting that all together, I guess.
Yes.
For like little 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Also, was probably like in some sort of like advanced reading program or some shit. I think in one episode where they were all telling the bare facts, where they were all telling the mayor the story or whatever. She's like, I was brushing up on my conversational Chinese, so she probably like a very advanced reader. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, but sometimes people are still not like good at putting something together from directions or
Yeah.
good with tools or whatever, but they just put it together easily.
I guess also they must have had been having a good day where they could all like work together and they weren't like squabbling amongst themselves too. Alright, so I think that is the end of our discussion here. I think the next episodes we're talking about are Eat Your Greens and Down and Dirty, which are two of my favorite episodes, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Are we beating up the VeggieTales?
It's the invasion of the broccoloids one.
Okay.
I just enjoyed that they have broccoli monsters on the planet. And then Down and Dirty is the one where Buttercup won't take a bath.
Okay.
So it's those two.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were pretty good.
Yeah. I think those are the next two. I could be wrong. I don't know what order they are in the DVD. I need to, like, these are like older DVDs, so I need to check to make sure that even the other side of this side of the disc works still. So, yeah. We will see. We'll see which episodes we talk about next, but I think it's those two.
Where else can we watch the Powerpuff Girls, like on streaming?
Netflix. I'm not sure if they're still on like HBO Max or not, because I know they took a bunch of Cartoon Network stuff off of there, even though they like bragged about it being like the home of cartoons at one point. I think it's on Netflix if you have that and it's available in your region. It is in the States. So thank you so much to everyone who's listened in. If you've been enjoying the show, it would be super cool if you haven't already to subscribe and leave a review. We definitely love to get some positive feedback.
Please share with your friends. And we also have another podcast called What We Pod in the Shadows.
Yes, in that one we are discussing the 6th and final season of What We Do in the Shadows, which if you don't know is basically a mockumentary about 4 vampire roommates and their familiar Guillermo. It's very funny. You should check it out if you haven't already. Maybe don't start with, well, if you haven't seen the first 5 seasons, the 6th season may not make sense, but it's a very funny show. It's a very funny show.
It's by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
And it's on FX, but we also watch it on Hulu.
Yes. I think that's everything. So until next time, I'll be the roundabout. Goodbye.
Goodbye.